Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Insomnia stream. So today it's March 1st. Doesn't feel like March 1st. I'm here in Michigan and it's still freezing cold, but that's good. We have here, well, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Akiva.
So
I found this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead. Yeah, please.
No, I just want to say, I made a PR for something that I was trying to fix in Insomnia, and somehow through I don't know some magic links all around the internet, I found this stream, and I saw that this PR was going to be reviewed during there, so I decided to join.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's do it. So here we go. Fix request. Thank you for joining. Fix request switcher selection cycling. So when cycling through a request, so I've never looked at this yet. I guess I looked at it for a second and thought it would be a good one to do in the stream. You put up 2 PRs right back to back, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And so this one is actually sort of by accident, that I wasn't intending to fix that. I didn't even know it was a problem. I just had a different feature request that I was after, and then I saw this first, so I decided to split them up into 2 PRs, hoping that at least fixing it would get in. And then
well, if you don't mind, we can look at. I think there's no reason not to look at both of them today. Is there?
Sure.
Do you think it would make sense to do one in one order or the other first, or it doesn't matter?
I don't really think it makes a difference what order to look at them. They're kind of independent, which is why I broke them out into 2 separate things.
Okay. All right. So let's take a peek. When cycling through the request switcher via, all right, I know that one. So let's open up Insomnia. Let's make sure we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
I always get a little scared opening. Yeah. See, look at that. I was just gonna say I always get a little scared opening my Insomnia in front of people because it's always like I like blow it up all the time while I'm developing various things. So I guess I was yeah, I know myself
Working on
too well.
something in that area, yeah.
Right. So okay, pressing down on the down arrow will correctly cycle through all the match requests as well as workspaces. Pressing the up arrow would only cycle through match requests and will not allow me to select match workspaces. Oh, okay, interesting. Reading the existing code. Oh, all right. It's just a interesting. Oh, because we allow it to go down, but otherwise we don't allow it to go up. That's interesting.
Well, it's just that if it looks like if you go up, it's only going to cycle through the matched requests and not the matched like workspaces. So I guess I should have probably put in some like reproduction steps here. You're gonna need a couple of requests and then like maybe like 1 or 2 workspaces.
So I'm gonna say request 1, request it's a little bigger here. I hope the quality on the stream is a little better. Last week it was a little garbly, but it looks better today. So I don't know. If anybody's in the chat on YouTube, please tell me how it looks. All right. 2. There we go. 3. F3, 3. Okay, and then let's rename this to be like doc 1. And then let's go over here. Same thing. So, I want to make it big. All right. Create doc 2. And then we'll do like my request. Let's see, we did 3 before, so let's do 4 and 5. Okay, so I think now we're set up to like see what's happening, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I think mine was actually not for like the design documents, but more like the what do you call them? I don't know. The requests. Yeah, request collections.
I'm hoping it doesn't make a difference.
I don't know if it matters. Yeah, it probably doesn't. It doesn't look like it will matter here.
From an Insomnia perspective, it should be same, but
so I think going down should work just fine. But if you go up, it only cycles those like top area requests.
I see. So I'm
but if you go down, yeah.
Oh,
going down cycles correctly, but going up doesn't.
Wow.
My fix was pretty simple. Yeah.
That's really something. Okay. Let's grab this fix request. Okay, so this is PR4. So I'm we haven't met before, but anybody that meets me, it's a running joke, gets to know that I'm a big Git Kraken fan. I think I'm just not elite enough for the Git CLI. One day I'll learn. So
I think the Git CLI has made itself confusing enough that anybody who anybody
Well,
who's like, yeah,
I make
go ahead.
that joke because like of course I started with the Git CLI before Git Kraken existed.
Mhm.
But so this is your one commit here. I'm gonna reset hard to here, and I'm gonna rebase this on where are we here? Because we'll merge it right now. Rebase. Okay, so I'm gonna push this to your fork. Yeah. Okay, and let's test it. So I'll come over her. So we have this hard reset command. I like to do this when I'm moving around because it's like very safe. It like literally clears the build. It clears the node modules. It takes a little longer, but it gives me some certainty about what we're actually looking at. So how did you come
Yep.
across this? Do you use the request switcher a lot?
Well, no, I discovered it pretty recently, but once I discovered it, you'll see like the feature request is really where I discovered it from. I
Mm-hmm.
was actually building out the feature request before I found the bug. So from the feature request side, uh, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, on a Mac at least, if you use Control P or Control N, which is the same like key bindings as from Emacs, you can navigate up and down lists. Like I'm trying to think. It's basically like in any like application. Like if you have I don't know anything that like
It works on VS Code, but not Control N. So I'm hitting Control P. It's going through. Oh, I'm in the wrong node version. Oops. 14.16 and 14.16.0. All right, say again.
so it's a Mac thing. Or you're on Windows, right?
On
So
Linux.
on Linux. Okay, so that's actually one of the issues that I had with the PR that I noted is I don't know if the same semantics work on other OSs. Like Control P, I know in Windows is like print, and maybe that just shouldn't apply inside of Insomnia. So I don't know if maybe like a key binding should have to be Mac specific or something like that.
Open.
Which is I think we should discuss it. That's basically the point.
I'm trying to see if it's quick open navigator next in file picker. Okay, so this is the thing that it's mapped to. I'm wondering what they map it to on Linux. So quick open navigate. Previous in file picker is Control Shift E. What? So I could hit Control P. I can hit Control P again to go down. But if I want to go the other direction, I do Control Shift E. Wait, what? I do Control Shift E. I'm doing Control. Wait, I think actually there's like a I don't know. I don't want to save anything. What's it called?
That seems very difficult to
Yeah,
like
I don't
type,
want to
in my
replicate that.
opinion. But
Screencast mode. Okay, now we can see it. So everyone can see my keystrokes, I hope. Can you see my keystrokes?
yeah, Control P.
I'm hitting Control P, and now I'm doing Control Shift E to go the other direction. Comical.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't.
I'm curious. So just out of curiosity, let's go on VS Code on the VS Code GitHub, and I'm curious if there was a discussion about this. Like maybe there's more to this that we don't know about why. Let's see. Control Shift E. This is a bug. So anyway, I'm just curious, like why that decision was made. I guess we can look at the. I guess we can look at the. No, we can diff it somehow, but how's this coming? It's coming. But yeah, I'm always curious to know like what went into those kinds of decisions. You know what I mean? So what would you suggest? Okay, so you would suggest we do Control N to navigate up and down.
I'm only using those because those are the two. I'm sure it stands for previous and next, but those are the two keys that are mapped on like So on Mac, for example, if I go to the command line, right, and I do Control P, it cycles up in my history, and if I do Control N, it'll cycle down in my like command history.
I have
And
the same
it's
thing. So
it's
here's a terminal.
yeah,
Whoop,
it might be just like a bash thing.
yeah, maybe. I'm gonna hit Control P. It's going up. Everyone gets to see what my history is, and I'm doing Control N now, and it's going down. Previous and then next. Okay, here it
I
is.
use this all the time. I'm in any application that allows. I never use the up arrow and down arrow anymore. Just my fingers have just been like, tied to those. If I go to like Safari, for example, um, I if you start typing, you'll get like a bunch of suggestions when you start like trying to search something, and
Mm-hmm.
I use Control P and Control N to go through that list. And whenever an application doesn't have it, it's like, now I gotta go move my hands all the way over to the
All the
arrow
way over.
keys.
I know what you mean, though. It is quite a jump to move your whole hand. It can be very repetitive strain, kind of like to go down to the arrow keys. I don't do that myself, but I can totally relate to what you're talking about. Um, so like I'm curious. No, Control P. Oops.
I think I don't think this is like the semantics match on Windows or Linux. I think this is like a Mac thing because they took the Control P and Control N that is like again from
Mhm.
Emacs or from like command line, and they kind of brought that throughout the whole system. So it's like just built into like the native lists in Mac OS.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, it does work for me on console. Maybe you're right.
Right.
Maybe it is a bash thing, though. I'd be curious to know,
I think
like
they just
here.
like borrowed it into the system because they real like probably their own developers were like, oh, it'd be really nice if we can navigate
Doesn't
lists with.
get cracking. Well, let's stay. We have this. Let's stay focused on this because this
Yep.
definitely this. There's no question this can merge. I think we may have discovered another bug along the way, though. So um, here I happen to have like let's make another. Let's make another my collection request. Whatever. So this. Let's actually just make a second one just so we can do we can see it. So here we are in develop and I'm hitting up arrow and it's going through the things correctly and I'm hitting down arrow and it's going through them correctly as well. So this is the fix, right?
Hmm.
I noticed is I happen to do this here in wait, sorry. Let's go back. We're still in develop. I happen to do this here and we were testing some kind of OAuth thing. So I have a bunch of OAuth things in my uh, space here. So I'm going to hit down arrow, and it did go to this thing, but
Did
it did not
scroll, yeah,
scroll my window. That
yeah.
is unrelated. I'm very willing to bet to what you're experiencing. If I zoom way out to get past that, we can see that it does like the thing you fixed is fixed. This is definitely a bug. I think like it should follow scroll. So
Yeah.
we'll handle that. So I'll like make a note to myself. Maybe if we have time, I'll write that after. You don't necessarily have to stick around for that. But what would we call that? Quick. Here, I'm typing off screen. I'll type on screen. Quick switcher doesn't follow. What's that called? It's called focus. It's called focus tracking. Um, scroll. Scroll tracking. There's some kind of term for that when you follow the user's scroll. Or when you follow their selection with the scrolling. So, okay, let's look at the code. So this is in request switcher modal. All right, that makes sense. If the active index is, well, we don't need to do side by side. Active index, and then we're modulus the max index.
So basically, if like active index is 10 and max index is 15, it's still gonna end up being 10 because I'm adding like 10 plus 15 is 25, and then modulo the 15, I'm just gonna end up back with 10. But if
Okay, let me
it's
turn off this thing, screencast mode. Okay, so, what happened here? Forcing update change. Can't perform React state unmount. prompt modal. Is that relevant to what we did? Let's try again. I don't think so. Wait a second. I have the wrong thing open. Did it switch through the stuff? There. Okay, so that's not the issue. Something else happened though. Prompt modal. I wonder. Well, anyway, let's stay focused. My window here, I need to restart TypeScript language server. So we can find your code because I bet there's no other modulus. Oh wait, am I checked out on your thing? I am checked out. So what's the problem?
I saw it.
Oh, was it there? Okay, let's a little bigger. I always watch stuff
Right
like
there,
this on
line
my phone at
119.
night, so I always always try to make things like this a little bigger. Okay, there it is. Oh yeah, you're right. So max index. So if we wanted to write, okay, we don't have a test for this of any kind, but
Yeah, actually, like I'm a TDD guy, and I
oh,
started by
good.
looking to see if there was related tests, and I didn't, and time and all that kind of stuff. So I just was like, I'll just throw it in. But
Let's write one. Let's write one real quick. I mean, who does it hurt,
mhm,
right? Uh, I also we're trying super duper hard to, and obviously Insomnia has been around for, well, I don't know, maybe it's not obvious. I hate when people say that, but Insomnia has been around for a super long time, and it's been through a lot of different changes, and some of those
mhm,
changes didn't come with tests. So I don't
mhm.
know, like request modal dot. Okay, so let's do dot test. Okay, so we can have that open. Let's pull out a little helper function. Where are we here? So let's make them the same. So this is going to pull out. Um, what do you think this should be called? Um, I don't know.
What kind of function are you trying to pull out? Like, what are you trying to do?
I wanna extract this functionality into another function. Um, then we can
Oh,
test it.
for the purposes of like exporting it to test it.
Yeah, think about that. Because the reason is like, so maybe you're thinking like, why not just test it in the context of the class itself? The reason is that for modals, we have a very unfortunate reality that we're living with right now for modals, where the modals are stateful, and they're singletons as well. The modals are registered. I can show you real quick. The modals are registered at the. Are you familiar with React, or is
Yep.
okay? So what we do is, this was set up in a time long ago before portals existed
Oops.
and before other things. Wait. Um, and then I can do this. So basically, what we do, and we've been working on this actually just in the last week, we've made a ton of progress. But essentially, the modals are singletons, and we pass refs to them. And like, let's look at an alert modal, for example. So alert modal has no props, you might notice, which is kind of strange. Like, how come it has no props? What we do is we use refs to manage them, and then we have a centralized place that we can pass an instance of the class to, like a show method, and then we have a thing that will call the show method, passing in some parameters, and then those parameters will, a set state will be called, and then after the set state, a show happens, which is actually kind of funny because React doesn't guarantee the order of these things. Funny story, but anyway, and then that's how we kind of like
You could put it in
instantiate.
the like. Are you specifically not putting it in the set state callback so that it does
Yeah,
guarantee the
well,
order?
ignorance probably. Yeah, it should be in the
Ah,
set state callback. It should be in
mhm,
here. Uh,
mhm,
but whatever. That's the life we're living, and they're all like
mhm,
this. We're trying really hard to. In fact, you can see here, there's this analytics modal, that doesn't have any props and has another approach that was used to try to get it to work, by just leveraging Redux to determine whether or not it needs to render or not. We can do this with all of these. Well, it doesn't have to be Redux, but it could be. we could do this with all of these. But the problem is, like, the reason I'm afraid to even try to write the test in the context of the class is because there's a lot of like initialization that's a little finicky that you have to set up, and we're like wrangling all these different refs in order to get it to fit together.
Mhm.
And it would be easier to just test the math, like as long as the math is
Yep.
correct. So that's what I'm
I think
thinking.
that makes total sense. And the other thing is, um, this is actually the type of thing that I think shouldn't live inside the context of the modal necessarily because
Utils file.
yeah, I mean it would apply to any time that you're showing a list of anything that you want to like you can like select through, right? It doesn't have to just be for like the request switcher. It could be any type of list or yeah, basically any
I
list that you can select one.
was looking at
You're gonna
this.
need the same problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. We need max index. Actually, I was gonna put these two things in there, but no, that's not what we want. We just want max index. So
Mhm.
we can say like, yeah, we'll pull this out. I agree with you. If I could spell INDEX. Okay. Number, and then we're gonna do I mean, I guess we can just say index and max. Index plus max modulus max.
Oh, we gotta write the test first.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just trying to make it the same so that we can switch it out in here.
Mhm.
Um that's well, yeah. Well, here we are. Uh
I would just first implementation return index.
and then why is it erroring on active index? Oh, because I had created a variable called active index. Okay. Well, so let's grab this. Let's grab this guy. Oops. Did I grab it? Did I grab it? Figure out where to put it. We have like utils stuff around. Um,
If there's like a list kind of thing,
mm,
list util. I don't know.
so I'm gonna look for that. Oh, INSOMNIA utils. Okay, let's see where these are. Templating. No, not really a good fit. App window VCS. Tests. No, we don't really have. It's not really Git or templating. I hate to make a new one. We can put this. We have an Insomnia common package. Put it in there, but um.
Now
Okay,
that I think
well,
about it in terms of like the naming of this like
mhm,
function, maybe it's important to make it clear that this one specifically like wraps. In other words, like there might be some use cases where you don't want like the down arrow to jump back to the top. You might want it to just like stay. It's
oh
kind of like
yeah,
if you're like in your file explorer and you press like
mhm,
up arrow, you maybe want to just like stop at the top, like in the Windows or whatever file explorer you got in your OS.
I agree with you. We should call this like wrap. The word wrap should be in there, right?
Yeah.
Um, select. No, because select sounds like a reselect selector. Wrap to next index. How about that? Thoughts?
Mm, I don't like next because the index that you're
Oh, it
passing
could be
in
either.
is the one that you want it to be.
Yeah, great point. Wrap to index.
I'm not getting the right feels from that, but um,
Well, I'm open-minded. Let's think about it, and then we can let me know if you think of something. There's always so technically, I guess actually technically we can't merge it right now, right here and now, because what we have to do generally, the team likes to. I do as well. It's not just the team. We like to have a second for any open source stuff. We have a second team member review it as well.
sure.
Um, got test. So maybe someone else like James and Jack are the two people that come to mind. So we can put this in a folder here, and it doesn't need to be in components. It can be further closer to where it actually is. Okay. Describe. Yep. It returns next when not max. So we have like 4 tests to write, right? Returns next when max.
Again, I'd
Returns
be careful with the word next, because the index that you're passing in is the one that you want it to. It doesn't give you the following one.
Oh,
It's not like it doesn't have, it's not like a previous and next kind of stateful thing. It's just what's the value. Like, it's basically like if you pass in 10 and the max was 15, it's going to give you back 10. If you pass in any number less than 15, it should give you back that number. But if you pass in like a negative number, it should give you like that negative number from the bottom. So let's say, for example, you pass in -2 and the max was 10, it should
oh,
give
I
you
see.
8. It's not like a previous and next type of thing.
Well, the next and previous is defined by whether like the absolute value of I'm sorry, whether the sign of the number, right? So like,
I guess I just, again, like if you, I don't know, if I pass in 10, if I pass in the parameters like index 10, max 15, I don't think there's no next in my mind. Like there's no next or previous. It's just like, what is the wrapped value? You know?
I see. Wrapped, yeah, wrapped index.
Like, is it either 10 or is it some other number, depending on.
So,
And,
and then, so we're gonna do to be. By the way, if you're interested, I should have mentioned this earlier. If you'd like to, we can do a VS Code live share. Do you use if you use VS Code? You said you use Emacs, so.
I actually don't use Emacs. It was just like the thing I got started on. I
Oh,
use
really?
yeah,
That's
but like
fun.
the Mac has all these different like Emacs bindings throughout, so
I know what you
that's
mean.
why I just still, yeah.
I'm gonna open CB. So one thing that code, oops, one thing we're trying to do that I'm a big fan of is there's this tool called Wallaby.
Yeah, I love
What
it.
is it? Okay, awesome. That's great news. So I also am like a very avid Wallaby user, and I can't really quite use Wallaby in Insomnia yet, but I can sort of fake it. Utils test. How come it's not coming up? Utils.test. Like something in the source tree. Are we in the wrong place? Omnia app. Did I open the wrong thing? Sorry, 1 second. I would love to use it, but what's going on? Why doesn't VS Code find the file? So utils test. Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't know.
Maybe it's because it's like a not added to like Git or whatever.
Maybe.
It's
I
like a
mean, I
new
don't know.
file, so it's like it's not in part of the Git index.
So there's the utils file. We can put it over there. Okay, so wrap the index.
I actually don't expect the result to be 15 there. I expect it to be 10 in this case.
Oh, because we say, okay, so maybe my problem is that I just don't understand how it works.
So
if we said to go 16 though, and it was 15, we would, oops, I didn't type 6. We said 16, but it's 15. We would expect to see 15.
no, I would expect to see like 1.
Oh, because it would wrap around.
It should wrap, yeah.
Is it 0 indexed?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm trying to think, like, if you pass in 15, I would expect it to be 0.
Yeah, because it's 0 indexed, but the max is not 0 indexed because it's a length.
Yeah, maybe max index is not the right, like, maybe max index is not the right name for it.
Max
But
length. You know?
it's kind of like the count. Yeah, like the count of items that you're cycling through.
Yeah, max, and we just call it max here, but we should make it more clear because it's not max index. Count or length is better.
Mm, I
Oh,
guess I would say count in this case, but
count? Okay.
in this case, max count sounds weird, but
Um, okay. It's like, what's the movie Max Payne? Is what it reminds me of. Okay, so we have that. Um, so desired index. So it's not really
you
even
can also
active.
say like index 16 should be, 1.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a good one. Index.
This seems like one of those good like use cases for like a for loop just generating, because it's simple like input and
Oh yeah,
output.
like a test base. Okay, yeah. So we have it each, and then we have okay, so we can do oops. I didn't say so. Okay, let me just put it up anyway because maybe other people would like to share GitHub. I got to do the GitHub, the GitHub dance.
Mhm.
Continue. One of these days, I'll count how many prompts you have to click through to get that to work. Okay. So great. So then I have this here. I'm going to post it over in the Insomnia stream channel if you're interested or anyone is interested. That's fine. So index 10, max count 15, result 10. There's our first one. And then how does the it dot each show up? It just shows up as a oh, we can do that kind of thing later. In the name, expect type. Okay, it's just an object. So we can destructure it here and say index, max count, and result. So oh, result. Let's just do it like
Yeah,
this.
just inline it. Yeah.
To be result. And then these can go away in just a moment because we can do 10, 15, and then 16. We expect it to be 0 and 1.
I think you have to change max count and index on the last one because we're saying
Oh,
the index
right.
you're trying to go to is index 16
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I
out
just
of 15.
cool. There we go. Okay, thanks for suggesting that. I probably would have done it the dumb way if you had not mentioned it. Okay, that should work.
And
I
then
don't
we
know
might
why.
want to try some negative values like index -1. Well, you can
Mm,
start with these tests if you want to just see.
yeah, let's make sure. Let's make sure it works. Run
Mhm.
test. Do this, and then like I don't know. Oops, not that. UTILS. Let's see what happens here. For some reason, Wallaby is not working. Womp womp.
It
It
happens.
didn't. Did it not select the thing I want? Also, it's just going. It's just ripping through them now. 7 skipped. Okay, it is skipping. So I think we can select by the name wrap to index. We can also pass to that. I think it's called like here. Let's go over here. It's called like
I use like a great Vim plugin where it's like when my cursor is like anywhere inside of a test case, I can just say like
oh, that's
test
sweet.
this thing, and it knows how to it knows what command
Yeah, that's
to type.
basically what Wallaby does. It shows you stuff in VS Code and
Yeah,
you can run it. I don't know why it's not working. Okay. None matching utils. Okay. Maybe this you want? I don't know. Okay. Java negative. Okay, negative. So the thing I want to make sure of is the thing here, max count should never be negative. You know, there's uh, a fun thing that I hit earlier in my career. Uh,
I ran
did
into
you
the
know
same exact thing. Yeah, with
you
like the
have?
negative. Yeah, like in every language, there's like a different implementation of what it means to have a
I hit
negative
this because
value for the
I was running VB. Was my video frozen on the thing? That's annoying.
kind of, yeah.
Um, oh, it's like really choppy. Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
moving in slow motion. Turns out that Visual Basic 6 has a different behavior than
Mhm.
Excel.
Yeah.
Like an Excel formula modulus takes a different route than the Visual Basic one, and I was trying to port a Visual Basic function in an Excel spreadsheet, and I just could not figure out why they weren't the same, and I, like, debugged it down, 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 and then I finally got to this, and then my whole brain exploded. Okay,
I would say in this case, like you might want, like if you're gonna write any test, it would be like it should just throw an exception if you get a negative number. I mean,
I agree.
maybe
If
that's pretty
so
drastic, but
no, I don't think it's
something's wrong
drastic.
if you're getting a negative number.
Right, exactly.
Test first, test first, test first.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, right, right, right. Well, we have let's get 'em to pass. Um, is this 3 passed? Okay, I didn't see where, but maybe it'll, like, know now because we're gonna run it again. Okay, so 3 passed. So this is going to be well, how do we do this? We expected these to throw an exception, so we have to test this differently because of jest. So we have to say, it dot each max count. Its name is wrong, of course, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't see this sharing at all. Like the it dot each. I think we just need like the one test case that says like you
Yeah,
throw a
yeah, you're
negative,
right. You're right.
negative. Yeah,
Throws when what do you want to say?
max is negative.
When max. So index equals 1. Negative. Let's do that. Just to be. Is that a thing?
Whoa, -0. Now
Uh,
you're playing with fire, man.
well, we want to make sure that we're actually checking the sign and we're not just checking if the value is less than 0. Like, is -0 less than 0? I think the answer is no, right?
I think that it shouldn't throw if it's. Uh, I don't think it should be problematic if the max is 0. It just to me means an empty list, like no items in the list. But
Okay, but what is the behavior of negative modulus and -0? Really what we're testing is like the modulus operator's behavior with negative numbers, and -0 is on the list. -0 is neither greater than oh, is it? So I don't know.
all right, I think it's a fair test case then.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah, let's go let's shoot right for the jugular, you know?
mhm.
Okay, so result to be okay, so we have to make this a function, right? Do or something. Yeah. Expect do to throw. How is that?
Throws. Is it dot
Is it
throws?
throws? Why isn't it
I
showing
just
up
saw it like
though?
autocomplete to. I just saw it autocomplete to throws, so that's why.
No, that's just because
Oh,
throws is
mm, a
ABC is
keyword.
means
Yeah, word name.
do. Oh, is this do is a keyword? Okay.
Do it as the.
Okay, yeah, that's the problem. Okay, thanks JavaScript. To throw, yeah, to throw error. Let's just say to throw and see and just see that that actually fails.
I'm still thinking about like whether or not it should be throwing in this situation. If there's 0, like why? Why should it throw if
Because
there's
it's an
like an
invalid
empty list,
input.
even if it's is it?
Oh, but you're saying in the case where it's 0. So, okay,
Yeah, I'm
maybe we
saying
do
for
this, right?
-0. If it's like -1, I get it because like we can't take a list that has less than 0 values, but a list that has 0 values, whether it's 0 or -0, to me is a valid list of nothing. In fact, -0 is a good case of why well, I think a passing test, where no matter what index you pass in, should give you back. I don't know what it should give you back. Well, why should it give you back 0? That sounds like if it's a list, if it's a length 1 list, it should give you back index 0 no matter what you pass in. But if it's a 0 list, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
should
know.
the index be that it gets you back
Yeah, like
if it's
you can also just say like this function doesn't. First of all, I don't really think it matters too much. But second of all, maybe this one just has undefined behavior for items of like zero or less. I mean, like, I don't, maybe throwing exceptions like too harsh and not necessary.
Here's a question: if somebody did hit an error with this, would it be at runtime or would it be at would it be on production or would it be in develop? Like, is this something that a user, because we want to throw more when somebody's developing and less when we want to handle more often, when somebody's using the app. So look, these 4 passed, 1 failed. Okay, so anyway, I was just thinking out loud. Maybe we should. I think we're getting a little far afield, but what do you think? Should we? I think we can just return. There's no valid input index to return if it's negative. So, like, for sure we can say like let's just make this a so like if max count is less than 0, return or like throw new error.
I think your test cases are gonna all fail because of the direction of that less than sign.
Oh, if max case is less, yep. Well, invalid input. Oh, I'm not feeling super creative right now. What should we call that? So wrap index. So we could just do like index max count. Do like a JSON stringify. I guess it'll technically stringify it automatically because it calls toString
I
in
think
there.
like
But
my feedback on this would be that you have more information inside, like when you're throwing the exception, than what you're conveying to the
yeah.
caller, because you know that it's less than 0.
Negative inputs are negative max. Or grab. You think? Yeah.
Sure. I mean, if I'm code reviewing this, I would also say that like putting the name of the function inside is a potential like future liability if the name of the function changes, and like comments are usually forgotten about.
Yeah.
Not comments, but like strings like that are forgotten about.
Negative, yeah. Well, what else do we want to say though? Negative maximum.
I think the stack trace should give the function name. Like, I don't think you need.
True. Negative maximum is.
It's not a great.
I guess yeah.
I don't think it's like a great message, but I think it's not bad for what someone would need if
yeah, because you're right. The name where to find it is going to be in the stack trace. So 1 failed. Let's skip this for a second. Maybe we don't want this. I would like to get the opinion of James or Jack, the other guys on the team. Maybe they're good at saying, Dimitri, it's too much. Stop with the negative 0 shit. So, cool. All right, I'm just going to turn my camera off because it keeps freezing. So, all right. Well, I think that should be it, though, right? I mean,
no, because in the test, like 2 of them are duplicated. I think you wanted to put like a negative number for the index in, like the second to last one and the last one are the same.
Okay, so we need a -1, and the max is
Mhm.
15, so it should go to,
I guess 14 should be the index that's returned, and then
and then we wanna go past -16. I guess it would be it's getting confusing
you
now.
could do negative,
Negative
yeah, like -16 also is fine.
-15 should go to, um boy, these numbers are a little too big for my little brain.
I think
Index
-15 to me means go 15 from the bottom. Like
mhm.
-1 to me means go like 1 from the bottom. -15 is like go 15 from the bottom, which gets you back to
I
the
see what you
top.
mean. Would you mind if we made these numbers smaller?
Yeah, I don't care. Like max count should
So,
probably be like 4 in this case. Like I
yeah,
don't think you gain anything by
we don't it doesn't
zero
really
3.
add to the clarity of what we're trying to solve.
Yep.
So the max length is, let's make it 3, and then
The only
index,
like suggestion I would have there is also maybe we can like change up at least one of the max counts so that like implementation wise, no one could come in on the
yeah,
in the
that's
implementation code
true.
and just hard code it to 3. Like
Right. So let's do that for the first one, the easiest case. So if the max count is, I don't know, 2, or let's do 4. Yeah, I like 4. If we say go to index, uh,
3,
3,
1.
yeah, or like 1, yeah. Or I mean, actually, the easiest case is 0. Go to the first one, it should return,
Zero.
0, right?
Mhm.
And if we say go to 1, it should return 1.
1.
If
Mhm.
we say go to something that's over, it should loop back around and go to,
In this case, 1.
actually, if we say go to 3, go to 0, because 3
Mhm.
means there are 4 items. If we're using indexes, if this is 0 based and max count is 1 based.
Mhm.
Agree?
Mhm.
Okay. If we say, so that's that test, the same thing there. So if we say go backwards 1, actually, it's not saying go backwards 1, it's saying go to -1,
Mhm.
and it's 3, then that would be, uh
1.
1, right, because it's 0 based. The result is 0 based as well. And if we say, uh, -4, or actually, let's just do -3, it would be 0.
Mm,
So we're at, like, just a 0, 1, 2. So we're right. We're saying, go to -3. It's gonna go. Okay, so gonna do, if we're just starting here, it's gonna that's -1, -2, -3.
yep, that sounds right.
Okay. Um, boy, I'm really glad we have tests for this now. Okay, wrap to index. So this stuff, okay, that one is skipped. All tests pass, but we changed all the numbers. So let's make sure all tests pass again. Cool. What's the weather like where you are?
It's pretty cold, although it's supposed to get up into like the maybe high 40s today,
Oh, that's cool.
which for some
Yeah.
reason sounds nice, even though when I say it out loud, it sounds horrible.
Oh, you can definitely go
It's,
check the mail without a code on in 40. Um,
yeah,
that's how I think about it. Okay, we have one failure expected. Oh, we didn't put the name of the. Okay, now's a good time to put the name of the test in here. How does that work for jest? I always test dot each. Why do I have caps lock on? Test each. Oops. Well, is it going to be in here? No. Test dot each. It is in here. Pretty format. Okay, we could just use that. right? I. Integer. Oh, it's gonna do like the.
You need to like put a placeholder for each one in order.
Um.
So like, oh, because you have it as like an object, yeah. So you're
Yeah.
only gonna get like one item.
I think we can do. Maybe we can do dot accessing on these. It each. Whoa, you can do that. That's kind of wild. Why is that a
Yeah, that is
feature? Oh
wild.
my god. Look at that. Oh boy. Okay. A or B. Oh, look, they're like there. Okay. Is that a thing? Returns. This obviously is not right, but um that's really cool if that works that way. Let's see. So what would this be? This would be like returns result. Index 0 x. What do you think about that?
It's all right. Doesn't
I'm gonna
have
be
to
so
be
happy if it actually
poetry.
works. Yeah.
It's just
Right.
enough to get us understanding what's going on.
Nope.
It looks like it just maybe you need like a special type of.
It dot each. I mean,
Kind of
it
looks like you
certainly
did the
looks
same
like
thing.
that's exactly what we're doing, isn't it? Or generate receive result types by injecting properties of the test came with variable. To inject the nested variables, you need to supply with the key path thing path to value. You cannot use with printf formatting except for. So like that looks like exactly what we're doing.
I wonder if it's like a version problem. Like this looks like it's the
Yeah,
documentation for version 27.5 for Jest. What version of Jest are you running?
yeah, not. We're on 26. It's on my list to update us to 27, but I'm just kind of. Oh, actually, stop. I want to see. Want to see like. I want to see this fail. See if it does the thing. Well, womp womp. Uh, that's let's just do pretty format for the time being, and
Sure.
this is good. I can go right into a ticket. This is why we need to be on just 27. I hate when you're looking at the docs for something and you're a version or 3 or 5 behind and you don't know like what things in the docs. I guess we could go look at the
Yeah.
just 26 docs, but clearly we didn't.
At least
Two
I
failed.
appreciate that they have like the version selection inside of their
Mhm,
documentation.
totally. Yeah, it doesn't work. So it's because we're out of date on jest. All right. Well, good thinking. I wouldn't have thought of that. Let's do. I'm gonna just keep that around for a second. So I'm gonna use that to write a ticket in a little bit. Turns. Do this for a moment, and then we can make it cooler. We're almost running out of time, actually. What a way to spend an hour. Next time.
Yeah. I didn't think
uh,
for like that's what you get. You make a PR and it's resulting in just like basically one line of green code on the diff and takes an hour.
this, this is good though. This reaffirmed belief that we are doing the right thing by putting more testing. I apologize if you for you getting raked over the coals having to sit through it, I suppose, but
You
it's
kidding? This is great.
definitely it's definitely good. Like, yeah, good to have. It didn't do it there either.
Because you have a
Okay, I don't
dollar
know.
P, I think you need the percentage P.
Oh,
I
is
just
that
noticed
the
that. I just
problem?
no. Before it was dollar, but
Okay. Well, let's just look. We can see which one it is actually because it expected one and it got two, and there's only
was
two of those that are like that. So maybe while it runs this time, we can figure out which one of those it is. So it expected one and it got two. I bet you it's this one. Um, so -1, the max count is 3. So the length is 3, and we said go go to -1, so 2, so it would be 1. No, I don't think that's right.
Well, I would say we the only thing is we looked at the implement. We actually tried it out
Yeah, it was that
in
test.
the app, right? And it was working as we would expect it to be, right? So I would say the implementation part is probably right, but I agree with you that in the test cases here, that something seems wrong.
Mhm.
Result should be if you go minus. Well, that does make sense, right? It should be 2 because you're if you're if let's say the index was 0, the value would be 0. If you wrap around going back 1, you should end up on 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're here, we go back, we're there. Oh, okay. Well, good. Good. I'm gonna grab this line. I hate commented code in our code base, so I will not leave that.
It still shows percentage %p, so maybe that's a new one too.
Oh wait, no, it doesn't. Right here. See, it showed us the test that failed.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It was percentage %p because this is like the code
Yeah, yeah.
showing where in the code, but yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
so let's make this a little better. There's no way to get so maybe we read the wrong thing before too. Can we
Yeah,
do
possible.
just do that really quick? I want to just oh, but nothing's gonna fail. Okay, let's just make one of them fail. That was a 1, or that was a 0, and it should be a 1. Yeah, getting our tests to run faster, upgrading to just 27. There's a couple things. It's been a big year for us. We've been doing a lot of maintenance and trying to get we're real super focused right now on getting upgraded from 12 to 15. Electron is moving really fast. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think these things are definitely top of mind for us is getting more of this because like shouldn't have this much friction writing simple tests, you know.
Yeah, what I
But
typically do is like if I'm um
it
I
doesn't
did it
work.
right now, it still has dollar result. Yeah, what I typically do is I like you can use like the focus test feature or whatever, maybe like Just has it. I'm not really I've never really used Just actually, but you can usually say like I only want to run this test and then it'll just run that one test
Yeah,
while you're
there
working on
is
it, and then afterwards you can run everything just to make sure you didn't break something else.
um so that's what I was looking for before. There's a thing in Jest called prefix um
But it doesn't have you don't have like there's no like describe dot only or something.
yeah, but it's not it wouldn't work because it they're gonna still run all the test suites. It'll just
That's
run
like file
only
based, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Wait, I mean, at least it's skipping all the other tests, but like as you can see, it takes a super duper long time to like go through because Jess has to evaluate. I think it's not just Jess. I think Moko was or whatever Jasmine was like this too. Like they have to look in order to see that you skipped something. Like this is a function call. You know, it has to it has to call the function to know that you wanted to skip it.
Yeah.
So it has to go through like the whole thing just to see what you wanted to actually run. There's not really a
Mhm.
this API doesn't really have a way around that problem, I think. The only way around it is on the CLI to tell it on the CLI, just do this
Yeah.
file. But,
Mhm.
okay, well, I'm happy with this. If you're happy with this, I think I can let's look at the diff here. So we added this test file. This is skipped for now, but you know what? I'll just take it out completely and I'll make a note. Um,
Yep.
I don't like skip tests being in there either. I'll make a note
I'm with
to
you.
another reviewer to see what they think about if that is even of value to us. We are doing wrap to index. Did we come up with another name? Oh boy, wrap to index. Well, we'll ask that too. I'll add a note.
You could say like index wrapped by or like some like eh,
Index.
I don't know.
None of that makes sense. I don't know. It's not easy. I think. It's I don't know. I'm not happy with the name either, but it is what it is. This cannot have anything to do with anything. I don't know why that happened, but I am not going to commit that change. Package lock should not have been updated. Um, or if it did, it's not anything
Mhm.
important. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Cool. Uh,
So just
Yeah. What's up?
no, you know, again, my goal was actually to get the Control P Control N feature in there,
Sure. Yeah,
and
we can talk about it for a
I'm
second if you have.
yeah, I don't I think that the basic the basic idea is like it's a net it's a I get like one of those disappointed kind of feels when
Womp
it
womp.
doesn't work in some app,
Yeah.
and when it does, they go like, ah, nice, they thought of that one,
Can you tell me
and
another
it
app
just
where it works that I might be able to test out on Linux?
that's what I'm saying. I don't think that if an application was doing it the right way, I think mapping it to Control P and Control N on systems that are not Mac OS would be like against the grain because it's a Mac like paradigm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like on Windows, it shouldn't work that way because Control P usually prints and Control N creates a new file or something. So like I wouldn't expect it to work on Windows that way, and probably similarly in Linux.
I think the problem that
Um,
we're going to hit with this PR is that we don't have contextual shortcuts. So if you hit, like, let me give you an example. Like, and this is even like a bug. I think that it's a bug. So duplicate request, Control D. So like if I come out of the place where duplicate request even is, say like Control D, look, like it's worse. It gets worse. Like let's go here, Control D. Like oh okay, it's disabled there. So like we can turn things off, but like we don't have. It's not like super duper smart about which yet about which
I see what you're
context
saying.
to
Yeah.
do a thing in. And my what I bet is going to happen is because Control P is already a thing, like Control P only can ever do one thing. It can't like do something in one context and something else in another context, even if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that what I probably would do for this PR that I didn't do yet um, is I would say this should be a Mac only thing because it doesn't make like I don't know if there's a similar paradigm on
I
Windows
totally
and Linux, and if there isn't, then there's no reason to have it as a feature for Windows or Linux. Like
does this
it just
function
is
in
a
this PR?
thing.
This works? Yeah.
Uh, yes, and part of the other problem is then like if you're not a Mac user or whatever, like how do you verify that it works? You know, like how do you?
Oh, that I can answer. Yeah. So it's programmatic in Insomnia. So we have like is Mac. So like we literally come over here and like set this to true. Oh,
Uh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Uh,
yeah. We have these, and sometimes you got to be careful because sometimes, like, okay, obviously this is duplicated here, but this is an INSO, so this is not a place where this doesn't share code.
yeah, but if you did like if just as an example, if you did like is Mac, how do you do Command P to open up the request? Like I use Command P to open up the request switcher.
yeah, it would be Windows P. I'm sorry, yeah, Windows P.
I see.
It's determined by Electron, like how the
Yeah.
well, not even Electron. I think it's like a Chrome thing, like which you have that keystroke API, and the keystroke API has like a meta. Here I'll show you. Meta key. Did here? Yeah. So like Mac. So this one here, like we get it out of this keyboard event, which has Control key, Alt key, Shift key, and Meta key.
So meta
And
key is like that command
right,
or Windows key. Got
right.
it.
And that's just how the browser does it, and we do that. We don't change it. We just do that. I'm trying to see where else. This is in another
That's fair.
place. Here, yeah, this is what I want. So is Meta. See this? So if it's a Mac, the Meta key is the Meta key. But if it's not a Mac, then the Meta key is the control key, I guess, on the way the API works. It seems a little weird
Mm-hmm.
now that I say it out loud, but works. Yeah, code editor. So there's a couple places where we here keyboard combination. So yeah, this is generally the way we do it. And so the nice thing about this system is that since we're using our own helpers to determine this, we can just go hard code it to some value because there's some features that Insomnia has. For example, there's like auto update features that Insomnia only has on the Mac. And well, like how would I test that on Linux? Well, I test it with well, it doesn't work, but I can look at the UI and stuff. I can see what it would appear as
Mhm.
and shim it or mock it on Mac by flipping this guy however I want
Mhm.
it to be.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the answer. But that's my concern. I think like one way or the other, like I totally hear what you're saying about the behavior should be different on platforms. I'm totally down with that, no question there. My thing that I think that will hit is which is why I'm surprised to hear that this does work or can work. But what I'm expecting that we would hit is to find out that the um whatchamadoozle, the behavior is not contextual. And so control N, if it does something else, like it won't do the right thing in this one context. It seems like this is doing very manual keystroke inspection. So maybe that's actually the way that it could work. But what you don't want is like, well, what is control N mapped to now?
It shouldn't do anything because it wouldn't be. It's a very non-Maccy thing to have the control key like mapped to like app functionality.
I'm sorry.
'Cause
I said control, but I think I meant to say meta. But the
ah,
point sort of stands.
so
So here's what. So let's pull up your PR just for a second.
I should probably make like a new request. But like on Mac, I don't mean the meta N or meta P. I actually mean the control key.
Got you.
Like
Yeah, I understand. What I'm saying is one way or the other. Doesn't look like we have on Mac. We would not have control N is not a keyboard
no, that
shortcut.
would be
That's not
command
on
N.
Mac. Right. It would
Yeah,
be meta
command
N.
N.
Or yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, meta command. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you went on your PR and somebody created a keyboard shortcut for Control N on the Mac, and then you're in the request switcher, and on the Mac you hit Mac Control N, it would behave to do the behavior of that new key. It might also go move
Right.
down in the list.
So it seems like also maybe what's missing here is like maybe there needs to be like some other sort of like shortcut like keyboard shortcut manager that says like if you if this key is already mapped to a different functionality, then this one will do nothing. Like this new one that you're trying to add will do nothing.
We do show the user like if you try to I think we show like if you try to overmap something, but the way the application is set up today, like so control F, I don't know. Let's go here and I'll try to like remove existing, and then I can come over here and do like control F. It says duplicate key combination.
Mhm.
So like I can't do anything about that. Um, is it gonna tell me that I can't? That's interesting. That's like a different bug altogether now. Okay. Add it back because it's escape, and escape is okay. I'm gonna have to take note of that. Fun times. Uh, some work to do after this. Okay. Well, all the same, hopefully you catch my point that we can't be in the situation where it's like dual mappable, but it's also like this is not something that's in like this keyboard shortcut stuff that's in your PR is actually not accessible to the user. Like consider this. What if the user wanted to change for whatever reason? They wanted to change the keys that this looks at. The way it's implemented now, there's no way for them to do that, right?
Um,
It's hard coded.
it's hardcore. I mean, it's the same like the up and down arrow. Like you don't want to
Mhm.
give the user function ability to change like what the up and down arrow do in that case. I guess right. It's like
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
coded.
I think it's reasonable to hard code the up and down arrow in this case, but the problem is like with this P thing, and again, considering all the stuff you said about the Mac, I totally get it. It's still is something that we probably want to give the user the ability to remove or deny.
That I
or
agree
what?
with. I agree with 100%. I agree if you change, unless you're like, unless you have contextual information, like they're in a modal right now and they're whatever they mapped control N to doesn't
Right.
apply in the situation anyways. So if that's not there yet, then like maybe this just isn't the right feature to have at the moment. And I want to just point something else out, like with the changes that I made actually. Um, the you can actually like not have that feature in, but I made some other changes that are related to like just more easier readability for
For the
the
key codes. Yeah, I love that.
key codes, because like I don't see, and then the other one I also like TypeScript, like made safer type, so you can't just pass in any key you want into this function.
Yeah, I'm a maintainer of the let me see if we can find it real quick. I'm a maintainer of the React definitely typed stuff, and there's a long-standing issue I have open about keyboard key definition. Let's see if we can find it from me. I wish this problem would go away a little faster. Where are we here? Very similar to what you're talking about, right? So this basically went
Basically,
nowhere.
it should just be like a very like a defined list of things that you can use for that value, and not just like you can't just pass in like hello world as a key that you want to map to.
Right. Um, the problem is the reason that the other people, the maintainers on this, and I decided not to go forward with it is like you basically have to include string in the list because of cross platform inconsistencies, because of like extensibility things. Like if you, I don't know, according to the spec, like really super duper, because it's listed here. I'm not sure where you got the list from, but like this is where I was looking. So it's
I
like,
got the list from no, I just got the list from the app itself. Like if you go into I don't think this is like an official list. This is just the list that the app uses currently. Like the app recognizes. So if you like go into the code, if you like check out the same file, I
I
just
see.
took all the possible values used in that file.
I hear you.
But
Hmm.
it's if
That's a good point. We have like a supported subset of the master list, and then like why not just specify what that is? I see what you mean.
yeah, I,
Okay.
I I did it, and it gives me like sort of the strong typing in my editor that's like tells me like what can I type here. If I actually did make a mistake when I was um when I was like trying to just substitute like the up arrow and the down arrow thing. I actually wrote the word up as a string, but I meant to use up
Oh,
arrow,
cool.
and only
How
then
how do
it caught it for me.
how do we verify though that the things that we wrote here do in fact map to actual keyboard keys?
I'm not actually seeing your code editor, if that's where you're in. I still see
No, I'm
the
looking at the PR.
definitely typed.
Oh, really?
I'm only Yeah, I only see definitely typed issues.
What?
It's like
Okay,
seems frozen.
let me try to bring it back. How about now? Do you see the
I
PR?
still see I still see just definitely typed.
Oh,
Looks like you're
super weird. I haven't been there for a minute.
frozen for now. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I'm sorry. Well, all
No,
the same,
it's cool.
all I was getting at is
Oh,
there's
now I see it.
it is definitely better what you're saying. I agree with that. As long as we're sure we feel good about our list, and it looks good to me. The real problem is, or the eventual problem is, maybe it's not a big deal, but the eventual problem is there's nothing verifying that this list maps to the real list. Like if we put something like, let's say you had put up in here instead of up arrow, TypeScript would be happy, and code would compile and we would ship it. There's no real check. But I know what you mean. This is better, and I'm a
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think
let's have
there's
this. This is good. This is super cool. Um, Well, let me talk about it. Like, let me talk about it with the team and see what people think. Like, it's definitely nice to know. It's one of the reasons we want to have this stream. It's really important to know like what kinds of things are slowing people down. And myself, like if I use an app and it doesn't have a dark theme, I like get really upset because everything else I have has a dark theme. And if it's in the middle of the night, it's not a matter of turning my screen brightness down because everything else is already dark.
Yeah.
So it seems like a stupid, frivolous thing to need, but like for me as a developer, it's actually like not unimportant because my like eyes are burning otherwise. So
Yeah,
I think that
I'm with you, and I understand. Like, the Control P Control N thing is in a similar vein in the sense that like
yeah.
it's especially like as a tool for developers. I see this as or maybe it's not just for developers, but that's the way I see it anyway. Is that those it's just something that I sort of come to expect, and when it's not, it's like eh. But um
Yep, I hear you.
but I understand that there's a lot more considerations here, and even with like the rest of the I actually think I broke this PR into the two commits. One to do all like the key,
Hmm.
um, like the key typing and that kind of stuff, and then afterwards I just made this small change to add the Control P and Control N. So if you want to
Yeah, if you could
accept,
split
if you
those
want
up,
to trash,
definitely works the first one.
what's that?
Like there's no I said if you can split those up, the first one can merge very fast. There's no question that
Yeah,
we
can you
can.
just look at the commit history quick and like see
Sure.
like can you like roll it back? I don't even know if that's possible. And it's
Yeah, I can
or do I
drop.
have to like
Yeah.
roll back and then push it up? So
So the first, what's the sort order of
the
this?
last one, I think I'm
Last
guessing the
one's
last
first.
one is you should be able to see from the commit itself because it should be pretty obvious if it's the other stuff is already there. Yeah. So
Okay, cool. So this one adds. We could grab this one for sure, and then
that
replace
yeah,
magic. Yeah, this guy as well. And this is
right.
just a straight replacement.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Great. Yeah, we can definitely I mean, you tell me. I can do it for you, or we can drop this
Yeah,
this
I'll let you take out. You can just kill that part of the like just roll back to the second commit from there
Okay.
and
Yeah, no problem.
take from there. You're probably going to want to change the PR title because it's now not
Mhm.
going to reflect anything about Control P and Control N.
All right,
That was
sweet.
just sort of like the impetus for the changes.
Yeah, where is it here?
Um, but I just don't feel like, oh, this is like a developer who took his time to make a PR. We have to bring it in. Like, no, I don't really care. This is your project, and I'm happy to be a user, and I'm thankful to you guys for working on it. So whatever decisions you come to, it's like I'm not gonna feel bad. I don't really care.
That's very kind of you. Yeah, thank you. I mean, we're developers too. So I think the good news is like I totally hear you. Like I want this to be I want this to work well, and I particularly am very motivated to help people out. And when there's nagging, like bothersome problems, um, it could be very annoying, if
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to just do what you do, and yeah, and then some stupid, like very small but somehow still very large missing feature gets in the way. Um, yeah, I definitely know the feeling. Um, well, do you want me to pull that commit into its own, like into another PR for the Control P thing, or do you want to just
That's
like
fair
maybe?
if you want to like review it. It's it's not to me like a some like massive amount of code that it's that I wouldn't like. I couldn't recreate it. It's just like a couple of keystrokes.
Well,
But
why
it's
don't I?
more like for you for tracking or for like reviewing with your team if you
Yeah,
or for
we
someone
can't.
else searching and yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Or so we can't merge it as is for like I'm pretty sure about that just because of the issue I mentioned, like with the like there's no context for these things.
Right.
But I will open an issue. Okay, so I'm gonna push to this PR. So I will open an issue though for this next thing, and I'll link you on it, so you'll see that come in today. And we could start. I'll get Will's our product manager engaged, and we can start sort of see what makes sense because if there is some, and maybe I only know what I know. So maybe if some other member of the team looks at it and knows of some way to kind of give it more context or make it work in one situation but not in another,
Yeah.
or give like some hierarchy where if it's an somebody I don't know how VS Code does it. That's why I was looking here. Like clearly they have this win thing. So like this is code that they put into
Mm,
the key commands, like win in files picker
yeah.
and quick open. So like
Yeah, that's
here's this
cool.
one. There's no win.
So it's
So
just
like
like global.
they're like literally executing code in the string of the, seems like an attack vector to me. But anyway, this is this is how they handle that is like they create like the context is you can just do it on the fly. Seems like where it looks like every key gets passed some stuff and yeah, then you can just serialize it and then you don't some of these look really like terminal find focus, terminal has been created, terminal find focus and terminal process supported, terminal find focus, like some of these are really long, you know
Yeah.
um like these are not kidding around, but whatever, if it works it works. Like you don't want to hit if yeah, control W will kill I see, I didn't know that it'll kill the editor in one like very specific context. So cool. Up.
The other thing is like as it relates to maybe other like product discovery, I would say again I put the I put this change for the control P control N inside of the request modal, but I really don't think it's not related. It's only related in the sense that the request switcher is showing a list, but it's like it should apply to any list if you're going to add it as a feature is sort of
I
what
know
I'm
what you
saying.
mean. So like if we go over here, oops,
Even like
let's
as I'm typing inside of like the request like editor area, like I'm filling out the body, let's say, I still
mhm.
expect control P and control N to work for me to navigate my cursor up and down or like in my text editor like the same way.
You know that there are Vim bindings. I don't know if that's a Vim thing that with the control if Vim does that for control P, control M. So you would
I
expect that
think
if
in
I was
certain contexts it does let you do that, but maybe it's just like it's just because I'm using Vim on Mac OS, whereas if I was using it in a different
so
OS, it
if
might
you
not
were
work.
right here where my cursor is and you hit control P, what would you expect to happen?
I would expect the cursor to be on line 2 after the D, right above where it is now. I'm gonna try it right now, actually, like inside of Insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yep, it works as expected. Like also other things, like I have Control K. Control K should delete every character after the cursor on that line, and it works inside of Insomnia like text editor area. It's probably because it's using the native text area element.
No, it's using code mirror
Okay,
and
so maybe code whatever. So maybe Code Mirror
maybe code mirror
handles it,
implements it.
and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I think that's what's probably happening. Where is Vim mode?
But
I'm
those
wondering.
like shortcuts, like they work throughout the OS, like even from the basic like text edit
Mhm.
application
Sure.
to the address
Yeah,
bar in Safari.
yeah,
Like,
it's a strong case that you make that like, oh, okay, here we have Emacs. I'm just curious like what happens if I do yeah, that works there, control P. Oh, so see we hit the bug. Like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
hit
yeah,
control P and it moved me up, but it also brought up the switcher.
yeah.
Let's do control N.
But on
Now
Mac,
it's
it
gonna make
wouldn't
me
it wouldn't
request
happen because mapping it
because
to control would
happens to
not
be
be right. Because on Mac, it's using meta P to open up the
yeah.
request switcher. So
Yep. Okay, well, good. I mean, I have a ton of stuff to go back to the team with and information on this, and yeah, I mean, like we can definitely figure something out. I mean, no matter what, I feel pretty confident about the first PR, and I feel very confident about the beginning chunk, the first two commits of the second PR. I'll
mhm.
change the description for you and get that all tidied up, and then we can merge that pretty soon here. It is a sort of rule of ours. Maybe I should start saying this out loud more. We are trying very hard that anything we like actively look at on the stream gets merged. Damn it. I mean, so that's one of the benefits of you coming today is that there's going to be a lot of attention on getting it merged because like boy wouldn't that be a useless waste of everyone's time if we spent time looking at this here and people came on like you have and like someone came on last week just like you are now and then it never gets merged.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
we're
look,
gonna
like I said, there's, I'm in software, so I understand there's considerations for everything, and it's not just because someone makes a PR that it has to be
yeah.
merged. It's just my idea, and you guys have your own considerations. But hey, dude, this was so cool. Really cool to be a part of it, and I'm glad you had me on, and we were able
Thanks for
to have
coming on.
the chat and get some stuff.
And, like we say to everyone is if you ever have anything come up, or if there's anything you need, feature requests, ideas, battle plans, anything you got, we're very open to it, and we really want to make this application as user friendly as possible. After all, that is kind of our thing, right? We're the easier to use REST client is what we're trying to be, and we're trying to stick ourselves to it. So any feedback is
Yeah.
very welcome.
Well,
Cool.
thanks for all the great work, and
Yeah.
maybe next time I'll be here and I'll show my face and we'll do some more of
Okay.
this.
All right. No, yeah, no problem on that. Don't even worry. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for viewing everyone over on YouTube, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming on. Bye.